Hey guys, Josh Reese here with things you need to know. First of all, I know you can see the hair, so we can just move past that. That was a bad experience at a rookie barber, and it was definitely my fault for going the rookie barber way. Uh, so now that we can move past that, in the words of Bill O'Brien on Hard Knocks, we're off to a good start. That's my favorite line from that Hard Knocks episode. If you haven't noticed through any of my tweets or anything, but anyways, moving on. Astros win. Astros win. Astros win on the road. The road trip from hell is finally over. The Astros beat the Giants yesterday on getaway day and finished the road trip. The 9-game road trip going 2-7. Now, a couple things to note. The Astros started the road trip going into that Texas game up 3 games on the Angels. The Astros proceeded to go 2-7, but only managed to give up 1 game to the Angels, and the Angels are only now 2 games back. So I don't want to say kudos to the Astros, but it's good that the Astros did not allow the Angels to overcome them, and I guess it's more so the Angels did not capitalize on the Astros trying to give it to the Angels. But the Astros will now come back to start a 10-game homestand. And the Astros have been fantastic at home. They have a .679 winning percentage. So now that the Angels did not take that chance and leap ahead of the Astros have a chance to put a little bit of distance between them and the Angels now that they're coming home to the comfy confines of Minute Maid Park. So bad news for the Angels. They had a chance to overtake the Astros, but they did not. And the Astros can now start to put a little bit of distance between the two. And that's good news going down the stretch. The Astros could also get a little bit of good news during this home stretch. We're getting near to the time where George Springer is supposed to have a checkup on his wrist. So we could get some good news into the fact that Springer could resume baseball activities and start to plan maybe a rehab assignment. Because if you check the podcast that me and Ben did, Red and Orange Report, our podcast, Allison Footer said, and much everyone else knows, September is when the roster expands because, not because, but more of the minor league teams, their seasons end in September. So it's going to be harder for George Springer to find a rehab assignment if he doesn't go out soon. So we could be seeing some movement on that George Springer stuff soon. I'm not saying he's coming back anytime soon. He still wasn't speculated to come back until the early in September. But maybe he gets out to a rehab a little bit sooner than expected, which would be fantastic. So moving on to a little bit of Rockets stuff. The schedule came out for the Rockets, and the NBA has decided to give them a win in Game 1. Thanks, NBA. The Rockets will be playing the Denver Nuggets in Game 1, and they are likely going to be without Ty Lawson, who is probably going to be suspended for a little bit of time. And it's definitely going to take him away from Game 1. And Dwight Howard is definitely going to miss Game 1 with that suspension he got back in the playoffs last year. Well, the technical that led to his suspension. He would have been suspended in the next game of the playoffs had the Rockets advanced, but instead he's going to be suspended in Game 1. The Rockets are going to play 20 back-to-back games this year, and they're going to have 19 TV games, which ties them with the LA Lakers, because you cannot have national TV without having Kobe Bryant on center stage. And we'll get to see what type of shape Kobe is in this year. But the Rockets still have a lot more national TV games than damn near just about every other team. Of course, the Spurs and the Thunder and the Warriors are going to have a hell of a lot of games, and the Cavs as well. But the Rockets still have a big chunk of more games than anybody else. Now, I did a whole 10-game series of like the best things you need to, the biggest and the best games the Rockets have during the season this year. I'll just give you the top three. I did the whole list, and you can find that on the HoustonSportsReport.com. But the first game is going to be the home game, December 25th. It's going to be a national TV game with the Spurs. This is a big NBA showcase day. They put the biggest and the best teams on this day, and it's going to pit the two best teams in the league against each other, and the Spurs and the Rockets. You get to see LaMarcus Aldridge versus Dwight Howard and James Harden and their merry band of gentlemen. Game 2 is going to be an away game on February 9th, a national TV game on TNT. It's going to be against the Warriors. This will be the third and final game of the season against the Warriors on the Rockets, and it will be on the road in that Oracle Arena. And it's going to be the last measuring stick the Rockets are going to get against the NBA champions. And the Rockets, did not have a very good record against them in the regular season last year, partly due to injuries and other things. But this is going to be the last test the Rockets get to face the Warriors and try to match up against them and see how they would do in the playoffs. That's my number 2 game. Number 3 is going to be an away game, March 29th, national TV game against the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James. This is going to be the last game of the season that the Rockets face against the Cavs, and it's going to be the last game of the season they're going to face the number 1 team in the East, which is any team that LeBron James is on. So it is, as the Warriors are the last measuring stick against the Warriors, this is going to be the last measuring stick for the Rockets against one of the best teams in the East, and it also comes at the end of the season. I think the Rockets only have like 7 or 8 games left after that. So this is going to be the true last test for the Rockets at the end of the year to try to see how you are against the real top competition of the NBA. So the full list, I got 7 more games up on Houston Sports Report. Feel free to go check those out. And one of the other tidbits of news today was James Harden recently, as of just a few hours ago, agreed to become the new face, or shall I say beard, of Adidas. He will be making $200 million. I feel like I should do Dr. Evil there. $200 million. Especially since I have a bald head now. We're moving past that. For the next, it's going to be making $200 million over the next 13 years from Adidas. Apparently they're going to do a whole, not only just a shoe line, but apparel line too. I mean, he's going to be as LeBron James is for Nike. James Harden is going to be the big face for Adidas. So it's going to be nice to see. Me and Ben DeBose talked about that at length on the podcast that we just recently had. So make sure to check that on iTunes. You can just type in Red Orange Report on iTunes. It'll pop up. Or you can, or we have a link up to it on our new website, Houston Sports Report. So I'm Josh Reese. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Joshua. And now you know.